All right, so this is my Week 9 NBA Power Rankings. Let's get started. So first off, we got all the injuries here. So Ben Simmons supposed to be back potentially this week, maybe next week. Lonnie Walker might be back this week. Jalen Smith and Andrew Nembhard for the Pacers are going to be potentially returning this week as well. Luke Cornett's going to be missing about a week. He's already missed a few of those days. Matt Ryan for the Pelicans. Was supposed to be back, and now he's going to be out for another 6 to 8 weeks. Bradley Beal for the Suns just got back, and then he ended up getting injured again for 2 more weeks. So he's played like hardly any games at all this season. For the Mavs, they got Maxi Kleba and Kyrie Irving potentially returning this week. Warriors got Gary Payton, who's supposed to return this week at some point. The Heat got Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo back from injury. Jazz got Jordan Clarkson. He was missed all last week. He's going to miss all of this week as well. So not good for them. For the Grizzlies, you got a lot of people there. Marcus Smart could return this week. Luke Kennard could return this week. Derrick Rose is going to be out for at least 1 more week. But they do get Ja Morant back tonight from his suspension. So they should be a lot better with Ja back. For the Cavs, they're going to be hurting a lot because Evan Mobley is going to be out for about 6 to 8 weeks, and Darius Garland's going to be out for 3 weeks. So a couple of their best players are going to be missing a lot of time there. But first off, we got the Pistons here at number 30. They're 2-25, 0-4 this week. They have lost 24 straight games. If they don't win a game at all this week, they will now, next week in my video, they will have the record for the longest losing streak in NBA history if they get to 27 straight losses, which right now looking very probable because the Pistons kind of suck. For the stat leaders here, we just got every team's current stat leader at their, at each category. So you see a lot of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren in that. Number 29, we got the Charlotte Hornets. They went 0-4 last week, so are now 7-18, still without LaMelo Ball, so they're not going to be playing a lot of good basketball without their best player. And you see that with LaMelo Ball leading them in, a lot of their stats. They are averaging nearly 25 points per game. At number 28, we got the Portland Trailblazers, who went 0-3 this week, are currently on a 7-game losing streak and hold a 6-19 record, so not a great record for them. For their stat leaders here, you actually got a lot more Thibault than I would have expected. You got 2 Thibauts and 2 Grants, and then they both share an extra spot. So I would definitely not expect Thibault to be on here shooting 40% from 3, but he's playing really solid this season. Number 27, we got the San Antonio Spurs, who went 1-2 this last week. So they ended their 17-game losing streak, so that's good for them. They beat the Lakers, so they finally got a win, but it was definitely, the damage has already been done. You're only 4-21 right now, so your playoff hopes are already basically dead. Wembanyama's been playing really good. You see him leading in a lot of these stats, averaging 19 and 11 with 3 blocks a game, so he's doing really good on both ends of the ball there. Washington Wizards, we're 4-22, we're 1-3 in the last week. Still, you only have 4 wins right now, about a third of the way through the season, so your playoff hopes are already basically dead as well. You actually have a lot of different people that are leading you in categories. A couple: Kuzma, Gafford, Jones. So you got a lot of different people that are good at one specific thing, but you don't really have anybody that's good at multiple things, which is kind of why your team's not very good. Number 25, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. So they went 0-3 this last week, but they are going to be ahead of a couple of those teams down there because they're going to get Ja Morant back, which should very much help this team a little bit, but they still have a lot of other injury issues on their team. So hopefully if they get everybody healthy this week and they get Ja Morant back, they should be a lot better team. It's going to be a challenge for them to make it into the playoffs right now, but it's still early, so it's definitely not impossible. But Ja Morant's going to have a lot of work to do to get this team back up in the playoff picture. At number 24, we got the Brooklyn Nets, who are 13-13. So they have a significantly better record than the teams we've mentioned so far. They just went 1-3 this week. Not a great week for them. Still got injuries to Ben Simmons, who has been out for a while now. But they've been playing pretty decent. So definitely on a higher tier than the other teams below them. And Cam Thomas is playing really good, still averaging 24 points per game. Number 23, we got the Chicago Bulls, who are 11 and 17, so a significantly worse record than the Brooklyn Nets. But recently, take the last few weeks into it, only the Bulls have been playing better than the Brooklyn Nets. Zach LaVine has been missing quite a few games, but he's supposed to be back soon, so that'll be good for them. But DeMar DeRozan has been playing really good in his absence. Number 22, we got the Atlanta Hawks, who are 11 and 15. Also, not the best record here. Went 2-2 the last week. I believe they're right on the brim of that play-in seed of the 10th seed. So they're definitely not one of the worst teams in the league, but definitely not anything spectacular. Trae Young's doing amazing, averaging 28 points and 11 assists per game. But yeah, number 21. Sorry, we got the Golden State Warriors, who are 12 and 14. Went 2-2 this week. They're obviously going to be without Draymond for at least 3 weeks, or probably longer than that. 3 weeks of counseling, and then they're going to see where he's at. But he'll probably be out until at least probably not even until after the All-Star break, if I would have had to guess. Stephen Curry's been doing really good. He just has not much help at all on this team. Number 20, we got the Houston Rockets, who are 13 and 11, went 2-2 this week. So not a horrible spot for the Houston Rockets. Definitely better than what many people would have expected them to be at this point in the season. But yeah, they also have only played 24 games, which I think is the least amount of games any team has played. Some teams have played up to about 28 games, so they have a smaller sample size than most other teams in the league. But, Alprinson, Gay, and Fred VanVleet have been really playing good in the game so far. At number 19, we got the Toronto Raptors, who are 11 and 15. Went 2-1 this week, so a solid week for them, moving them up 4 spots here. Their stat leaders here, you got a lot of people. You got Siakam is doing really good, Scotty Barnes, and Dennis Schroeder as well, doing really solid. So they got a few guys that are doing good, but they don't really have a whole lot of depth to this team. Number 18, we do got the Utah Jazz, who are 10 and 17, so not a great record for them. But they went 3-1 this week, been playing really solid basketball throughout the week, so that's definitely good to see for them. For their stat leaders here, you're obviously going to have Larry Markkinen up there with points. Keontae George is playing really good. Walker Kessler's blocking nearly 3 shots a game, so he's doing really good. And you got John Collins down there shooting 40% on threes. Number 17, we got the Cavaliers, who are 15 and 12, 2-2 the last week. So definitely a better team than number 17 in the NBA, but because of their injuries to Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, they're definitely going to be taking a hit to their production. So Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen are going to have a lot of work to do to keep this team, as long as they keep this team afloat at about the 6-ish seed range. I think that's where they're about at right now. As long as they can keep that, they should be pretty good, because they're not going to get Darius Garland back until about middle of January, and then Evan Mobley is going to be out till about probably the All-Star break. So definitely going to have an extended amount of time where your role players like Karis LeVert and stuff are also going to have to step up for you. At number 16, we do got the New York Knicks, who are 15 and 11. 2-2 last week, so not a bad record for them. Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson have been basically carrying the load for their team. Robinson's doing really good defensively and rebounds and stuff. Jalen Brunson's being leading the offense. They are averaging nearly 25 or nearly 26 and 6. He just had a 50-point game recently. He's been playing really solid this season. At number 15, we do got the Phoenix Suns, who are 14 and 12, went 2-2 the last week. Bradley Beal just cannot seem to stay healthy. I think he's played like 7-ish games all year. Let me look that up real quick. This dude has played 6 games all season, so definitely not ideal for your third best player when you're to be injured throughout the whole season when you don't have a lot of depth to begin with. They did sign Theo Maledon because the Hornets cut Theo Maledon, and then the Suns picked him up. So maybe he can be a somewhat rotational player for your team, but he's definitely not going to make up for the absence of Bradley Beal. At number 14, we do got the Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers, they signed James Johnson, who is, a player, I guess. He's not really going to do much for your team. He's definitely a scrappy guy, and they signed him right after their fight with the Bucks players and stuff. So that was a funny thing. Maybe they're just wanting to get somebody that will not be afraid to step in and beat somebody up if he has to. But yeah, the Pacers went 0-4 this last week, so not a good week for them. Dropping them 9 whole spots here. They were looking really good in the in-season tournament and stuff, but since then they have not been able to win a single game. But Halliburton has been playing really good nonetheless. At number 13, we do got the Dallas Mavericks, who are 16-10. Went 2-2 the last week. Kyrie Irving's supposed to be back soon, potentially. Still not 100% sure on his timeline there. But Luka is going to be leading your team in most of these statistical categories here, especially the offensive ones. At number 12, we do got the New Orleans Pelicans, who went 3-0 this last week, so they're been really solid right now. A record of 16-11. Brandon Ingram's been playing really good. Valanciunas been playing really good. CJ McCollum hasn't been playing a whole lot of games because he did miss it quite a bit, but he's playing really solid. He's just not going to find himself on any of these stat leaders because he has missed so many games, so I'm not going to, he hasn't played in half the games, so if you haven't played in at least half of the games, I'm not going to be putting you on that list. Number 11, we got the Los Angeles Lakers, who are going to drop 7 spots after they went 1-3 this week to follow up their in-season tournament win. They just hung up their banner last night against the Knicks, and they end up losing to the Knicks. So it's kind of sad to see that you're putting up a championship banner, quote unquote championship banner for your in-season tournament, and then you end up losing that same night. So, definitely would have liked to see them defend their quote unquote championship right there with at least a win over the New York Knicks, but they'll be fine. The Lakers still have a solid record. LeBron James, Anthony Davis are playing really good, so not too much to worry about. You're just not going to be probably one of the top seeds in the Western Conference, but as long as you guys can stay outside of that 7-10 spot, so you can at least have top 6 seed, not have to get in the play-in tournament, that'll be a win for the Lakers fans. At number 10, we do got the Miami Heat, who are going to jump up 6 spots this week after going 2-2 because they are going to get Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo back. You see, Bam Adebayo was leading them in almost every statistical category here, so having him back now is definitely going to be a difference maker for this team. And Tyler Hero is actually leading the Heat in points per game, but he's only played in like 7 games for the team, so I can't really count that. But he's definitely one of the best scorers on that team, so having him back will definitely give the Heat some more firepower. At number 9, we got the Orlando Magic, who are going to drop 6 spots. They only played 2 games this week. They went 0-2. Both of the games were against the Celtics, so I can't fault them too much for losing 2 games to one of the best teams in the league. But, still, all the teams right below them that moved ahead of them ended up playing really good this week, so I had to move them down here to number 9. Paolo Banchero has been playing really solid this season. He leads in about half their categories right there. Most of the offensive categories, not much of the defensive categories, which is all right. He's doing 38% on threes, which is really good to see for his development there. At number 8, we got the Los Angeles Clippers, who went 4-0 this week and are currently on an 8-game winning streak. So it's been really good to see this Clippers team actually play good, because you see they were at a record of 8-10 a couple weeks ago, but they started off losing like the first 5 straight games with this James Harden deal, and now James Harden throughout the last week or so is looking like their best player probably. So he's doing really good for this team right now, being actually really efficient, which is good to see. And he's leading the team in assists there. You can see that. But you have a lot of different players on this team leading in stat categories, which makes sense because this Clippers team is one of the deepest teams in the league. At number 7, we do got the Denver Nuggets, who are 18-10. Went 3-1 this week, so a solid week for them. You're going to see Jokic leading them in about every category here. Just not the defensive categories. And then you got Jamal Murray shooting nearly 45% on threes, leading them there. But Jokic is playing really good, nearly averaging a triple-double, probably top 3 at least in MVP candidates right now. At number 6, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading them in most of their categories, but they went 2-1 this week, are 17-8, so a really solid record for the Thunder team. And yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 30-plus points with nearly 3 steals a game, nearly shooting 50-40-90. He might actually be shooting 50-40-90. Let me check that. real quick, but I believe, um, let's see. Okay, now he's only shooting 33% on threes. He has to get that 3 more percentage up, but he's shooting 54% from the field right there at 30 points per game, which is really good and averaging nearly 3 steals a game. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander very well might be also in the top of the MVP ladder right now. At number 5, we do got the Philadelphia 76ers, who were number 9 last week, but they went 3-1 this week, so they're going to jump up quite a bit of spots there. And you see you got Embiid and Maxey taking up about every category here. Embiid's averaging 34 points and 12 rebounds a game, so he's doing really good for this team. At number 4, we do got the Sacramento Kings, who went 3-1 this week, are 16-9 now, so a pretty solid record for them. You got De'Aaron Fox averaging 30 points per game. Sabonis is doing really good, leading the teams in rebounds and assists. I believe he's leading the league in rebounds, actually. And you got Malik Monk shooting 43% on threes, so really good all around for the Kings. Here we got the Bucks. You got, they went 3-0 this week, 19-7, so I believe they're 2 seed in the East, right behind Boston Celtics. You got Giannis and Dame on basically all these categories. Lopez is averaging 3 blocks per game, and Malik Beasley is shooting 46% on threes, so he's doing really good. But for Giannis, he's got averages of 31 points and 11 boards on 62% shooting, so he's playing really, really good himself. Number 2, we got the Celtics, who went 4-0 this week, are now at a record of 20-5, which is tied for the best record in the league with, the team you'll see in a minute, which you probably can already figure out who it is. But they're stat leaders. You got quite a bit of different guys here. You got Tatum leading in points and rebounds. You got Derek White leading in assists, steals, and free throws, and then Porzingis, leading in blocks and field goal percentage expected there. And you got Sam Hauser shooting nearly 45% on threes, which is definitely something I did not expect him to do, considering he's actually playing quite a bit of minutes and getting a good volume of shots off. Number 1, we got Minnesota Timberwolves. Probably could have guessed that. They're 3-0 on the week, got a record of 20-5, tied for the top record in the league, and certainly the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They've been playing like a really, really good team. Everybody on their team is having a career year, it seems like. Not Mike Conley. He's not having a career year in overall numbers, but I believe his 3-point percentage at 44% is his career best. Anthony Edwards is playing really good. Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns are playing really, really good as well. So, yeah, like I said, all those 4 guys are playing some of their best basketballs of their careers. That's large part of why they are currently the best team in the league. Then here we got the top performers. We got a lot of different top performers from this 1 week alone. I believe we got 20 different people here from this 1 week alone. So I'm not going to talk about every single thing, but I will go a brief overview of each team's individual performances. If you want to look at it more in depth, you can just pause the screen and look. But LeBron James put up 33 points and a near triple-double there. Kat had a 40-piece with 12 boards. Luka had a 33-point, 17-assist game, and a 39-point, 13-assist game, and a 40-point triple-double in this week. Joel Embiid dropped 40 3 different times with 10-plus boards there in each game. Brandon Ingram dropped a 40-piece. Cade Cunningham dropped a 43-piece there with 7 assists. Trae Young had 35 and 17 assists. Jalen Brunson dropped 50 points with 9 of 9 on threes with 5 steals. So a really, really great game for Jalen Brunson there. Anthony Davis had 37 and 10 with 4 steals. Domantas Sabonis had a 28-point triple-double. Victor Wembanyama had 30 and 13 with 6 blocks. 3 steals as well. So a 9-stock game for Wemby there. It's a really great game. Cam Thomas, dropping his casual 41-point game. He's been really playing good all season. Giannis got a new career high and a Bucks franchise high of 64 points to go along with 14 rebounds, and that is the highest scoring individual performance of the season so far. Jaren Jackson had 44 points, so a really great game there. Keegan Murray dropped 47 on 12 of 15 for threes, breaking a Kings record for most threes in a game. I believe that is the top 10 all-time performance for made threes in a game. Roughly in the top 10 there at least. Nikola Jokic had a 26-point triple-double. Walker Kessler had 10 and 10 with 7 blocks. So really great game there. Tyus Jones had 22 and 11 with 6 steals, so he played really good. SGA had a 40-piece, and De'Aaron Fox had a 40-piece. So a lot of great performances from around the league throughout this last week. So yeah, that is the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to come back next week for an updated power rankings list, and make sure to check out the NFL videos as well.